Some of the foremost objections to the gospel trial narratives focus on the reporting of allegedly illegal practices by the Jewish Sanhedrin. We can dismiss such claims by pointing out that all the rules alleged to have been violated were laid down in Jewish legal writings that were not codified until decades after Jesus died, and also were not written down until more than 150 years later. We can also note that scholars believe the contents of those legal writings are only idealistic and theoretical, and that there's certainly no guarantee that the laws, even if in effect, would not have been broken by a corrupt Sanhedrin. Still, in this installment, we'll have a look at a few of the most common objections to the historicity of the trial on this count. Okay, our friend is feeling better, so he can give us some thoughts. Go ahead.
Yeah, the Gospels have the elders of the Sanhedrin spitting on and striking Jesus. They were too dignified to be doing stuff like that.
Well, no, not really on either count. As we can see by this passage from Luke, it wasn't dignified guys like Caiaphas doing the work. It was their grunts. Mark just says that some struck Jesus, but doesn't say who they were. And John specifically says Jesus struck by one of his henchmen. So, no law-breaking here, just some pretty bad reading skills. Okay, what's next?
According to the law, the verdict upon the accused always had to be postponed until the next day. So they couldn't have had it the same night like in the Gospels.
Actually, there's direct evidence that this particular rule was not in effect prior to 70 AD. Josephus reports on the case of Mariamne, where a verdict was reached on the same day as the trial. So either that rule wasn't around, or they didn't obey it then either. Next up.
Okay, look. 2 witnesses were needed for capital crimes, and the confession of the accused wasn't admissible. So the Gospels are incorrect on that.
Yeah, but remember what I said earlier. The charge that they were trying to bring him up on before Pilate was sedition against the Roman state. The Romans didn't need 2 witnesses, and they had no problem using the accused's confession. Under any interpretation, Jesus' extracted confession to be the divine Son of Man was used by the high priest to convict him in a Roman court before Pilate, not a Jewish court. And I might add that technically this rule wasn't violated because Jesus' confession was not an admission to a crime. It was, to the Romans, a crime in and of itself. Alright, one more.
Hey look, the rule said the verdict can't be unanimous, and the Gospels say the whole Sanhedrin found him guilty, so what's up?
Not exactly. Joseph of Arimathea didn't, and if we take the Gospel of John, neither did Nicodemus. And I should add that the rule in question is sometimes understood to mean that if the verdict is unanimous, the accused should be sentenced right away. But really it doesn't matter because it's open to question whether there was actually a verdict in the first place.
What?
Yeah, I'll explain more about that next time.